Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here talking up to you about how I'm tracking my reading in 2024. I always do this video later in January because I like to use my stuff for a couple weeks before I share like what I'm doing, just in case I make changes. For now, the biggest thing I'm doing is I'm continuing with my spreadsheets. All of my spreadsheets are from Allie over at Hardback Hoarder. I'll link to her Etsy shop down below for you if you're curious. This is my personal favorite way to just track all of my reading. The biggest change you will notice for 2024 are two things. I'm using my form still to track my books read, but I am using just manual input on my manga spreadsheet, which means, yes, I have broken all of my reading out into two spreadsheets. So I have Allie's like ultimate reading tracker and then the basic reading tracker to do this with, because my plan is I wanted to have data and statistics for my manga logs and hauls every month. I thought that would be fun. So the easiest way to do that obviously is two spreadsheets, but also my manga doesn't need as complicated of tracking. I'm not necessarily tracking diversity in them as much or things. I'm more tracking, fat character, sapphic, BL, like those things in my manga one, whereas my book tracker, I'm really tracking a lot of more detailed, nuanced things. There's just not as much for me to track with my manga. Not to say there's not stuff there, it's just different than what I want to track with all the books I'm reading. So I do have two spreadsheets going. I'll show you those in just a minute. And then also I'm using my Hobonichi, one of my Hobonichis as a reading journal slash content journal. So I will get some clips of that for you later in this video as well. So yeah, I just wanted to like talk before I like jump to my computer and showing you like my forms and all the stuff. If you're new here, I do this, like I said, every year, and I will just kind of show you what I do with the forms, how I use that to like then input my data to the spreadsheet. And this is, I don't know, this is just why I like to track and how I like to track. So that's a thing too. Okay, so this is my Google form that I use. There we go. Okay, so I'll share the graphic I made for this year. I really like it. I think it's cute. But we have title, author, date started, date finished, page count, year published, author rep, character names is a new addition. I'm trying to make sure I track all of these. Tropes or keywords, any content warnings, and then is it from this year's TBR? Like, did it come out this year, or did I already have it on my TBR from a previous year? That's just shorthanded for me because I know what I'm talking about, obviously, when it comes to this item. So yeah, in case you're unfamiliar, this is kind of what Forms populates for you. So I've read 7 books as of recording this, and it'll show me like the author response. So like I've read 2 Whitney G's. Dates started, it'll kind of just give you a summary. You can see here, like I started 2 books on the same day. Page counts, year published, it groups it together. So that's kind of nice. We've got author representation here, character names, employee, and then you can see like this year, that year. So this will auto-populate for you if you're wanting something that does that and you don't have to think about it. If you don't want that, you're going to want to view it in Sheets, and then there's a code in the Sheets. I'm not going to show you mine, but it's right after the D and then it's a backslash. You're going to grab that entire code until the next backslash, and you can use that to import this data, which I will show you how I do. This is my 2024 bookish spreadsheet. This is my book only one. This is the dashboard that is in this year's spreadsheet, which is really cool. This is just kind of my general tracker. I'm not like there yet, obviously. I kind of just divided up where like every other month I read 13 books to hit 150. I should hit 200-ish. That's not mine either. Anyways, there's also like a 24 and 24 here. I'm not using any of that. But my books read are imported from that spreadsheet here for me, and then all I do is fill out things like Steam rating. If it's blank, obviously it's not a steamy book. That's so I have reference when I do rec videos and stuff. Same thing, main genre, subgenre, nonfiction, intended audience, format, and then how did I read it? Which is, all of these are audiobooks, unsurprising. Same thing, pub date comes in, I put in publisher and type and author status. I do some check boxes. As you can see, I've added my own check boxes here for LGBT, QIAP plus rep, fat rep, own voices, or own rep. Diverse, I just check if it meets any of the other requirements, basically, to track. That's just like an overall percentage tracker for me. So diverse is actually underrepresented. It's just too big a word to fit. And then same thing, I've added like author rep, character rep. Where I acquired it is included color of the cover, and then Goodreads updated. Is it a reread? you can see here I've been okay at importing some of this stuff, and then same thing, I added this here. But if you take that little like thing I told you to grab earlier and you have a sheet that you can hide later, which is what I did, imported data. So I have a sheet I call imported data, and you just type in import range, you'll put that code here. And then I recommend doing 500, 1,000, like do a really, really large number on what it's pulling, because that will ensure that no matter what you read in the year, you're not going to run out of space. So I had it happen one year where I only put like 300 or something, and I was freaked out because I was like, where's my data? It was there. It just, I didn't put the number in big enough. So this is where it imports everything from that form. And then I just put in all the other details here. The biggest thing, like I said, I added a couple columns for myself here, knowing what I like to know. And then, hold on, I'm going to hide this before I forget. Then you have your basics. This is where I get all my data for my monthly updates. You can also, there's like a monthly stats page. But there's also this page, which is like star reads, and it pulls in each book you read to this, which is cool. So I added the 6-star. To do this, you're literally just going to copy this over, duplicate it. I'm not using the habit tracker. I thought I would, but I don't ever use this. I also don't really use releases. Selections I always keep open because I'm always adding to this. And then I do add like my 6-star rating. What else? Transaction wise, I'm just tracking as I buy books. I actually need to put in a book I just got today in here. I'm going to edit this and also have a freebie category. Apply to all. Freebie. There we go. That way I can track purchases as well. But yeah, I have this. I'm tracking my library books here, and I don't always put in all the details, to be honest with you, but sometimes I do. I usually am better about this at the beginning. I don't track when it's due, and then I track what library it's from, and I made myself a little tracker over here so I can see the ones in green are the ones I pay for, so I can see when the libraries I pay for are adding up to as much or more than I'm paying for them. Same thing here. I have the ARC tracker set up. I'm going to we're just going to pretend some of those aren't bold and some are bold for reasons. It's fine. Anyways, I added this little section here for myself to track when I get a new NetGalley book and to see what percent I'm at when I review it. So when I check it off, it helps me. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm tracking here for my bookish reads. I'm really excited to see this come together over the year. I will be importing this into the 5-year spreadsheet when all is said and done. But for now, I'm really enjoying the new spreadsheet and just having a fresh start again. I am using the finished tracker, I will say here, and the DNF. That's it. Those are the only 2 things I'm tracking here, though. I don't use currently reading or to read. Like, we're just tracking 2 things. All right, let's show my manga spreadsheet. So my manga spreadsheet, similar thing. This is just the basic one from Allie. I realize that you can't see all of it though. Hold on. This is the basic one from Allie. This is the purple version. So I've already tracked 2 manga volumes, and I put in the other 3 I'm reading right now. This video will have gone live, so you'll know. But yeah, so I'm just kind of tracking that way. For manga, I really pared this down a lot, right? Because I wanted to just quickly be able to update things. So I've already updated like what I owned, which is Shelf, Goodreads updates, that is updated on Goodreads. And I've just kind of like imprints, I've made just the very basics, and publisher. One of the things I added here is I did publisher and then I did imprint. So like Viz published it, but it's under the Shonen Jump imprint. I'm tracking that loosely because I'm curious to see who as the overall publisher I'm reading the most from. Same thing, it will pull here with what I'm reading and how I'm reading. I'll mess with that later. But yeah, it'll slowly give me all this info. Subgenres are going to shift as the year goes. Same thing, I'll be tracking my purchases. I've not bought any manga in 2024. I'm doing so good. I will possibly track releases in here as well. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. And then I just keep selections available because I like to be able to quickly pop over here and just add things as I think of them. Or like, oh, I read this and it's a whoever is the imprint, yeah, that's how I'm tracking manga, and I'm really excited. So this is all manual entry for me on the manga pages, mostly because I find entering manga really, really repetitive, and I'm often reading like 2 to 3 volumes, sometimes 4 volumes from the same mangaka. So I wanted to be able to quickly just copy and paste things and just change the volumes versus having to do it on a form, which takes a smidge more time in my opinion. And then the last spreadsheet I have for 2024 is, of course, my Read What You Own spreadsheet. If you're doing Read What You Own and watching this, please download the new updated spreadsheet. I messed some stuff up. I've already fixed it. I apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. But this is my 2024 Read What You Own tracker. So I do need to put this in. Yeah, I am just tracking as I go here, as I read things. Obviously, the goal is to acquire less than I read. So this is just kind of going to grow as I continue for the year. I gave myself quite a few spaces. And ideally, I will be able to just come back through and, like, if I read this in February, mark it as February, etc. It should be pretty simple, and then that will slowly give me this data, which is going to tell me, 1, how many books towards my goal I've read. So I'm at 5% right now, which is great. I'm really proud of myself. 2, my updated stats. So, like, NetGalley's under 100. My LibreFMs went down by 2 books, but I got 1, so not really. But yeah, I'm slowly able to see these numbers drop, and that feels really good. Really, really good. And then obviously the fact that I read 10 in January, got 4 new, which leaves me at a total of 6 books down in my TBR/owned TBR situation. So that's exciting. And then this will slowly give me charts all year too. I am very excited to have all the data that I am getting from this. And I'm excited to see where this all is at the end of the year when it's Read What You Own. And I just really streamlined it for myself because I knew that's what I needed this year. So hopefully that works for y'all that are also doing Read What You Own. Anyways, I'm going to go show you my planner. All right, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me while we talk about all the nerdy things I do to track my reading. I would love to know how you track in 2023 or how you're planning to track in... Thanks, y'all, for hanging out with me while I talked about all of my nerdy tracking stuff for reading. I would love to know how you tracked books in 2023 or are planning to track in 2024. And if you're not going to do either, I mean, that's fine. I still can't recommend the form enough if you just want, like, something to auto-populate everything for you. But, yeah, I love doing it this way. I think it's really nice. And I am excited to hear how y'all are tracking stuff. So I'll have links to what I can link to down below for you, as well as links to my friend anywhere on the internet, and I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know, about to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away.